As a child who grew up watching MASH, I can confidently say that this iconic television show left an indelible mark on my life and countless others. From its humorous take on the horrors of war to its poignant portrayal of the human condition, MASH was a masterclass in storytelling and character development. Um, in even 4 decades since its final episode, the groundbreaking TV series MASH continues to be one of the most impactful in television history, boasting numerous episodes relevant to history. Originally a spinoff from Robert Altman's successful 1970 film, the show centered around the staff of a U.S. Army Mobile Army Surgical Hospital during the Korean War. But MASH, it was evolved significantly over its 11-season span between 1972 and 1983. In contrast to earlier comedy series set during wars like Hogan's Heroes, which primarily relied on humor, MASH evolved into one of the first authentic dramedies on television. Initially, CBS executives intended for MASH to remain within the confines of its sitcom genre, shot in California. However, co-creator Larry Gelbart and his team had different plans. As the series advanced, MASH started blending humor with narratives that were overshadowed by the somber reality of war, as well as by several socially and politically significant issues that echoed in both the show's 1950s backdrop and resonated with its audience during the 1970s and 80s. One of the most notable episodes that stands out for its historical relevance is Dear Dad 3 from season 2. In this episode, a character named Sergeant Condon displays prejudice when he learns that his blood transfusion came from a black nurse. Surgeons Benjamin Hawkeye Pierce and Trapper John boldly challenged Condon's racism by sharing the true account of Dr. Charles Drew, a renowned black researcher from the 1950s who met an untimely end following a car accident. The hospital refused to provide treatment due to his racial background. The episode, The General Flipped at Dawn, from season 3, is another standout for its portrayal of the complexities of military life. General Barkford Hamilton Steele's arrival at the 4077th turned the entire scene on its head with his unexpected demands and bold decision-making style. When General Steele proposes relocating the entire camp towards the battlefront, the staff's unease culminates in a court-martial for Hawkeye, who challenges the general's soundness of mind. The episode, The Interview, from season 4, is a powerful portrayal of mental health during wartime. The unique presentation, filmed in black and white with a documentary-like feel, eliminated most of the laughter, instead opting for raw interviews with the 4077's personnel. Mental health takes center stage, with each interview shining a light on the struggle, the personal struggles and coping mechanisms each surgeon used just to get through another day. In the episode, The Nurses, from season 5, the show courageously stepped into the gap of portraying women's war experiences. The TV show The Nurses forcefully highlights the predominantly authoritative and often discriminatory culture within military life. If we're seeing these big beatings demolish in its state, what scenes of Honeycutt devise a strategy to pretend that Baker's husband has typhoid, isolate him in quarantine, and secretly allow Baker to see him. The episode Dear Sigmund from season 5 is a gripping drama that delves into the psychological impact of war The thought-provoking film offers an unflinching, authentic portrayal of the intense emotional struggles endured by soldiers and medical personnel uh, in the aftermath of the Vietnam War. Some viewers of NASH were just beginning to understand the profound effect war has on mental health. In the episode Our Finest Hour from season 7, the show draws inspiration from The Interview, employing a documentary style format that mirrored newsreels and wartime documentaries of the 1950s. The two-part episode emphasizes that the effects of war are everlasting. It alternates scenes from the series' first 6 seasons with interviews of 4077th doctors, creating a sense where the emotions portrayed by the characters in the 1950s Korean War and those of the audience in 1978 are remarkably similar. The episode Are You Now, Margaret? From season 8 is a powerful portrayal of the fear of communism and the Red Scare during the Korean War, following the arrival of a seemingly harmless missive from a longstanding friend. Major Houlihan is accused of having communist leanings. The chilling effects of McCarthyism begin to sweep through the camp as a military interrogator intensely questions Margaret and her colleagues, aiming to uncover any signs of socialist behavior. In the episode A War for All Seasons from season 9, the show portrays a full year in the lives of those at the 4077, vividly depicting various real-life features and missing events from 1951 as experienced by the MASH characters, missing of some moments are lighthearted, such as Bobby Thompson's legendary shot heard round the world that clinched the 51 pennant for the New York Giants. However, it also focuses on significant medical advancements of the time, like the introduction of the first artificial kidney machine and the early adoption of penicillin. The episode Foreign Affairs from season 11 is a poignant portrayal of international negotiations and intercultural connections. A French Red Cross volunteer develops a romantic interest in Winchester, who ultimately finds her too liberated sexually for his comfort. In another storyline within the episode, a public relations specialist tries to persuade an injured North Korean airman to defect and go back to the US with him. The finale episode, Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen, is a powerful conclusion to the effects of the Korean War on its characters before they returned home. Notably, the finale focused heavily on one of MASH's recurring themes, the long-term consequences of war and trauma experienced by those directly involved in the conflict. And after many years of coping with war's atrocities through jokes and disrespect, the indomitable Hawkeye eventually breaks down. PTSD as a mental health diagnosis was not recognized until 1980. But by the end of Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen, it's clear that the good, bad, and even inhumane experiences the MASH characters faced during their 11-season war would linger with each of them long after they returned home. So before we wrap up, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button if you enjoyed this article. And remember, war is no laughing matter, but MASH did a great job of making us laugh while still tackling the tough issues. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time,